Hi there. If you're watching this video, then the likelihood is that your life has been affected in some way by keratoconus. Either you have keratoconus or you know somebody that has it. And the reason I say that with some assurance is the only people who are actually out there looking for information about the disease are the people whose lives have been impacted by it. Because keratoconus isn't very well known. If you tell somebody that you have keratoconus, or you tell somebody that somebody you know has keratoconus, the chances are they won't know what you're talking about. This video is really a little bit of an introduction to what keratoconus is and what sort of effect it has. It's designed to work alongside a website that I run, which is whatiskeratoconus.com. You can see it there on the screen. If you visit that website, there's loads of information on there about the disease. There's an information pack that you can download absolutely free. And when you download that pack, you go on my newsletter, and I send out information pretty regularly about the disease, about coping with it, about some of the treatments that are available, and links to videos and other things like this. So, what is keratoconus? In order to understand that, and in order to understand how it affects the vision of people who've got it, what we need to do first of all is take a quick look at how the human eye works and what happens in somebody that has keratoconus. So that's what we're going to do now. So the human eye is made up of a number of different components. And if we start off at the front of the eye, we have the cornea. That's the blue bit on the diagram. That's the window that you see through. Behind that is the iris, and that controls how much light actually comes into your eye. And then we have the lens, which focuses the light coming in. It focuses it into a single point, which is projected onto the retina at the back of the eye, and that's where there's all these wonderful cells that convert the light into nerve impulses. Those nerve impulses travel to the brain and are then interpreted as vision. Now, in people with keratoconus, the problem is actually with the cornea, the front part of the eye. And what happens in people with keratoconus is that the cornea becomes thin and then it bulges outwards, becoming progressively more distorted and bulging out into an irregular cone shape. What does that do to your vision? Well, in an eye without keratoconus, you view the world. If you look on the right-hand side, there's something you might see in the real world. The light travels through the regularly shaped cornea onto the lens. The lens then focuses that image back onto the retina. And what happens is you get a nice, clear, precise image on the retina. I've ignored the fact that actually in the human eye it tends to flip the image upside down. But basically the light travels through cleanly, is focused into a single point on the retina, so you get good clear vision. So what happens if the cornea is distorted as it is in keratoconus? Well, the light coming into the cornea doesn't come through cleanly, it gets distorted and dispersed, so that when it hits the lens, it's scattered. The lens therefore can't actually focus it onto a single focal point on the retina. So what happens is you get lots of blurred images being projected onto the cells at the back of the eye, and therefore you get blurred vision and you get multiple vision. Let's look at that actually in a practical context. Here's a nighttime street scene. I don't know where it is, it's just a picture I found somewhere. But you can see it's lit up, there's bright lights, there's strong contrasts. Now if you have keratoconus and it's uncorrected keratoconus, then you get a very, very different vision. What you can see here is a simulation that shows the blurring of the image, the multiple images that you might see, the ghosting of the lights. And you can imagine if this vision is uncorrected, that makes it very, very difficult to see. And that's why many people with keratoconus struggle to drive at night. Okay, so that's a bit of background about keratoconus. Now, maybe that's cause for concern for you. But the important thing here is to consider the fact that the vast majority of people who have keratoconus get by absolutely fine. There are contact lenses available, there are surgical procedures available, and the vast majority of people live normal, happy, full lives with keratoconus. I'm not saying that there aren't difficult times, there aren't challenges to be overcome. There are. And one of the challenges is that people don't know enough about the disease. If you say to somebody, I've got diabetes, they may not understand all of the implications, but at least they recognise the name, they have some idea about it. If you say to somebody, I've got keratoconus, they don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. So I'm trying to promote awareness about the condition. I'm also working to help people that have the condition, not through any kind of medical advice and information, because I'm not a medical person. I'm simply somebody who's lived with the disease for well over a quarter of a century. And I've been through a lot of the stages that other people go through. So, to find out more information, head on over to my website, that's whatiskeratoconus.com, and download the free information pack, get on my newsletter, and I'll hopefully be talking to you again in some more videos fairly shortly.